This is Tim Bryan. Today, how to protect yourself in the event of a weather emergency or natural disaster. Lawmakers join members of the community for the Saturday morning presentations at the North Hawaii Education and Research Center.
As a guide, on the mainland, they'll tell families you should have at least 3 days worth of food and water. Well, guess what? Here on this island or in Hawaii, we're telling everybody to have at least 7 days of food and water because of the shipping problems.
Hawaii County's Civil Defense Administrator Darryl Oliveira was one of the featured speakers. He talked about the importance of being in a state of constant readiness.
One of the things I tell my mom, who lives at home and she's in her 80s, anytime there's a weather event, I tell her, fill the bathtub. Just fill it up because at least you'll have water stored, and any other container, because any of us that camps or does anything has coolers and jugs. Even emptying out old juice jugs or milk jugs, washing them out and just filling them up, you can stockpile some water without having to run out and buy. If your house or your home or where you're at, your place of business is safe and secure, an evacuation may not be necessary. But if it is, an evacuation is necessary, knowing where to go. How many of you know where the hurricane shelter is here in Honoka'a? Where is it? It's actually the sports complex gym, right. Right. And again, it's what's within your means to do, because like I said, not everybody's going to have the financial abilities, the resources to run out and buy something. But what do you have around your house that you can make use of when you really need to? And then again, what can we do as neighbors to help out one another? Discussing with your family a simple thing like food. When I say discussing with your family, it's especially for those that might have younger children, because growing up, I know my parents yelled at me every time I opened that refrigerator door constantly. It's like the common comment was, we don't own stocks in Helco. Don't keep opening that thing up. You're just wasting energy. But when you talk about a disaster, you want to preserve the food that you have on hand. So it's talking with the family. We're going to keep these devices closed, try to maximize the life of our food. And as we start to go through the event, we're going to work through the refrigerated food, because that's going to spoil first, then through the freezer, and then through the pantry. So it's, again, if you discuss this at home, you can come up with ideas. And when I go out to the communities, I try to steal ideas from people that have things to share. And this one family shared with me that when they built their disaster kit, what they do is they encourage each one of their children to put something in the kit that they want to eat should there be a disaster. And that's what they're going to have to eat. And what they do to exercise and rotate the stock is whenever they go camping, that's what they're going to live out of, is their disaster kit. So the lesson that they shared with me is they told the kids to do this, and one of the daughters said, well, I'm putting cookies, candy, all the treats as her disaster supplies in this kit. Well, they go camping, and she's miserable because that's all she's got, right, is treats. So the lesson learned there was, again, a valuable lesson for her and her family, was that we need to plan for this. And with the camping trip, it's the rotation of that stock, so then again, they're constantly going through it and exercising their disaster plan.
Barney Sheffield with the American Red Cross was also on hand to let everyone know what residents can expect at a local shelter in times of emergency.
Something's going to happen. We live on the island in the middle of the Pacific, and you live in Honoka'a, which is a little island in the middle of a big island, cut off everywhere, all around. You never know when something's going to happen. You're going to need that supplies kit. Even if it's not ready to go, you need it in your house, because a lot of times people here are not going to evacuate. They're going to stay in their place for very, very obvious reasons. The other thing is there's all kinds of prefabbed meals that you can buy through hiking stores, through outdoor sports stores. There's people that specialize in this stuff. We bought a 5-gallon container. The thing's good for 25 years. I guess my kids will inherit it. That's about all they're going to get. But,
And some of you may be signed up. I guess, show of hands, how many of you are signed up for those emergency messages that we send out? Happy with the service? It's working? Because some people, every time I send out a message on a road closure, I will get at least one complaint saying, that doesn't affect me. Why are you sending it out? And usually by the time I explain it to the person, they understand, because so many of our people commute around the island, and we'd like to keep them informed. So we apologize if it's inconvenient sometime, but the intention is good, and that we want to keep everybody informed.
Stay tuned this week as we have more from the Emergency Preparedness Workshop held over the weekend in Honoka'a. Tim Bryan, Big Island Video News.